Do you feel like the most popular social networks like Facebook and Instagram are oversaturated? Has your reach gone down? Your engagement almost disappeared? Well, there's a new social network in town that's been growing really fast since 2017. And in some months, its app is downloaded more than Facebook and Instagram. It may not be the best option for you to leverage, or it could be. And I'm gonna break down whether it is or it isn't for you. Hey everyone, I'm Patel. And today, I'm going to discuss the social network that'll explode in 2020. And the real question is, should you leverage it? Now, before we get started, make sure you subscribe to this channel. And if you're on YouTube, click the alert notification. That way, when I go live, you'll get notified. The Wall Street Journal said TikTok is the third most installed app worldwide. It has 1.2 billion monthly users globally. That's the most downloaded app on the App Store worldwide for first quarter of 2019, followed by YouTube, Instagram, WhatsApp, and Messenger. The Wall Street Journal also reported that the average user spends 45 minutes on that app daily. ByteDance, TikTok's parent company, spent roughly $1 billion in ads, as much as $3 million a day in the last year. Much of that for ads has appeared on traditional social networks according to the Wall Street Journal. The first thing you should look at is my audience there? You're going to observe the same thing happening with other social networks like Facebook and Instagram. First, the dominant demographic is young people. Then it expands into other age groups and demographics. Depending on your audience and your demographic, it may not work for you, at least for now. In other words, if you're going after the younger demographic, then right now it can work for you. If you're going after the older demographic, then you're going to have to wait a bit. Secondly, if being first has always been your competitive advantage, then it may be worth getting on right now. It's impossible to tell whether or not it'll take off for all demographics or all groups, or if it's going to be an extremely popular social network 3 years from now. But the trend has been showing that it is growing. So if your competitive advantage is to be the first mover, then I would recommend that you go in there and you start taking advantage. Because typically when you get in there early, it's much easier to gain traction, get those followers, get more traffic, and leverage that audience. And you can do it for pennies on the dollar. But when you leverage something later on, once it becomes saturated, it's much more harder to get traction, and it tends to take a lot more time and cost way more money. Just look at it this way, right? If you built a blog in the early days, or Facebook in the early days, or even Instagram in the early days, you're naturally going to be much more popular than if you started your Instagram account right now, or even your Facebook account right now. The third thing you need to look at is, are you able to create the kind of content that people on this platform like? The app's short form video format lends itself to humor and anything that's lightning fast visual storytelling. If you have long form video content, it doesn't really work well for this app. Humor, out of everything that I've tested, or even sarcasm, tends to do well. It won't be easy for you to repurpose content from other channels unless this is your natural brand of voice. See, if you look at me, my video content is more serious, educational. I can't just go on TikTok and take the same video I'm doing for YouTube or Facebook or Instagram and then pop it onto TikTok. I would have to create all new content again. But then on the flip side, you see people like the Pauls, right? Logan and Jake Paul. Their content could work extremely well for TikTok without them having to create new content. In other words, they could potentially repurpose. The fourth thing you want to consider, if you're one of those people that loves playing it safe, you'll want to wait a bit and see whether or not TikTok will become mainstream. If time's a commodity, then you can't risk spending tons of time doing this, leveraging TikTok, building that audience, and then find out that it won't take off. I'm one of those people in which, although I love being early, I can't always afford to be fully in it. So sometimes with me, I may spend a little bit of time on there, but I won't go full-fledged unless I know the platform's going to take off. Look at my Instagram account. Sure, I was on Instagram early, but I didn't spend a lot of time on there until I knew it was going to blow up. And now I'm pushing hard and hard. And I'm like, all right, how quickly can I get to 1 million, 2 million followers? And if this is you, I would consider waiting at least 6 months to see whether or not it's going to go mainstream before you put too much time into it. That doesn't mean you can't sign up and start spending some time on it. It just means you shouldn't spend an arm and a leg or the majority of your days. If it gets popular among other age groups and demographics, you should definitely start leveraging it. At that point, you're going to have to be on there. It's just a question of when. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. If you have any questions, leave a comment below. And again, I'll see you tomorrow.